Hey, good morning. Uncle Lou here. How's everyone doing? I'm sure you're doing just great. Of course, I'm doing great. Today is Uncle Lou's birthday. That's right, today's my birthday. And today was also Lou Jr.'s first communion at church. But let's be real, that's not why you're here. Talk some trash about a couple of idiot teams and their fans.
Make the ground shake.
Like I said, it's my birthday today. I'm going to stay calm today. Not going to get irritated, aggravated, discombobulated, humiliated, annihilated, eradicated, anything like that. But 3 nominees this week for the Facepalm Award. Now, this first nominee, Butch Jones. A disclaimer, too. This is not an attack on Tennessee Vol fans. You know, which, hey, I've done that plenty, and there's been plenty of reasons in the past to do that. This isn't one of them. This falls squarely on Butch Jones here. Most of the Voltard fans that I know here on YouTube and Facebook or whatever think this is just as ridiculous as I do and as everybody else does. How do you give your team not 1, but 2 participation rings for going 9-4? You didn't win the East. You didn't win double-digit games. You didn't play in a major bowl game. 2 rings. That's ridiculous. My question about Butch Jones is this. Does Butch Jones not understand how things like this are perceived in the college football world outside of his Knoxville bubble? Does he just not understand that? Or does he just not care? It's one of the two, because when it comes to these sorts of issues, Butch Jones is completely tone deaf. The whole 5-star Hearts routine, the Life Champions speech that he gave, now giving out 2 participation rings to this year's Tennessee team, which went 9-4. Like I said, didn't win the East, didn't play in the SEC championship game, didn't play in a major bowl game, lost to Vanderbilt with a chance to go to the Sugar Bowl on the line, lost to South Carolina with a chance to win the SEC East. I mean, just things that make you go, participation rings too. I mean, this is just sad. I mean, it's just absolutely pathetic and sad. And the only thing I can figure is that he must have promised some of those guys that left this year, you know, Dobbs, Barnett, some of those guys, he must have promised them when they came in, hey, come to Tennessee, we will win a ring. He must have promised them that, and in some sort of idiotic attempt not to be made a liar, this joker handed out, not like I said, not 1 but 2 participation rings. So the first nominee for the Facepalm Award, Butch Jones. You got to stop this crap, sir. You got to stop. Butch Jones gave out, the head coach for Tennessee, Lou Jr., gave his team not 1 but 2 rings for going 9-4.
Real talk?
Yeah, he really did that.
That's property.
You heard what he said, folks. Now, nominee 2 for the Facepalm Awards, and this one is going to go to a group of fans. Can't blame the team for this one. The Barners. Listen, you know, there's certain things you can count on every offseason, right? Tennessee's going to be champions coming soon. You know, South Carolina's going to finally become a legitimate football program. And Auburn's going to have a Heisman Trophy candidate. Now, listen, Barners, Cam Newton was good. Cam Newton was great. As far as college players go, he was great. He was a transformational player for you, okay? Cam Newton is that once-in-a-generation type player that can pretty much win a national title on his own. You have players like that come around every so often. Now, I'm not saying Cam Newton was the only good player on that Auburn team that year, so don't misunderstand me. Every team has good players on it every year. But players like Cam Newton, as much as I hate him, Tim Tebow, as much as I hate him, these are players that by themselves can win a national title or at least elevate a program to that next level. But ever since this scam artist, Cam Newton, and his crooked-ass preacher daddy was at Auburn, every single offseason, Auburn's got a Heisman Trophy winner on their team. Win Heisman next year. I mean, I don't even need to ramble through the list of nobodies who these idiot Barners have proclaimed future Heisman Trophy winners. Every quarterback they've had, you could start right there. Jeremy Johnson, John Franklin III. Now the newest one this year, this Jarrett Stidham, whatever the hell his name is, this leftover Big 12 garbage that they got from Baylor when he decided to dip out because they was raping folks left and right out in Baylor and covered it up and all that whole mess. So he dipped out, did what it sat out a year or played in whatever penal league he played in last year. Now he's at Auburn, and automatically he's winning the Heisman this year because he's the Auburn quarterback. I'm so sick of hearing this. It's ridiculous. Listen. This Jarrett Stidham, this jackleg, started 3 games at Baylor. 3. Now, I'll admit, he looked good when he played. Okay, at Baylor. He looked good when he played. Now, there's a couple problems here. Number 1, every single quarterback Baylor's had in the last 10 years has looked good when they played for Baylor. Baylor scores 60, 70 points a game. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. There's nothing special about Jarrett Stidham. Or Stid Baloney, or whatever the hell his name is. Nothing special about this guy, okay? He started 3 games. In 2 of those games, he got hurt. He's paper mache. He's made out of glass. And we're talking about the Big 12. The Big 12, they have no defense there. None. There is no defense in the Big 12. Every year, you're lucky if you have 1, maybe 2 teams in the Big 12 that are in the top 50 in defense. So, yeah. Stidham looked good there in the 3 games that he started when he wasn't busy getting hurt in 2 out of those 3 games. This joker's not coming into the SEC and winning a Heisman playing Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. That's not happening. You're not winning a Heisman with Jarrett Stid Baloney against that schedule. So shut the hell up. And besides, I thought Cameron Petaway was winning the Heisman this year. So you've taken your own idiocy, stupidity, to a unseen level. It's way up here by the shit that's falling off my ceiling. You have 2 how do you have 2 players winning the Heisman in the same year? Petaway's rushing for 4,500 yards this year, breaking every record known to man and winning the Heisman. Meanwhile, Jarrett Stid Baloney's coming in and throwing for 9,000 yards and also winning the Heisman. I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys, what is wrong? What is wrong with you? You can't beat Alabama. You can't beat Georgia. Those are your 2 biggest rivals, and you can't beat them. You've beat Georgia twice in the last 11 years. Both of those years, you made the national title game. One of those 2 years, you had a legitimately great team with Cam Newton. The other year, you had garbage named Nick Marshall, who got lucky against Georgia in the last seconds of the game, and then lucky the following week with the kick 6 against Alabama to even back into the national title game. And you got beat. Those are the only 2 years you've beat UGA out of the last 11. So ask yourself this, Barner. Anybody ask, forget what you think about UGA. If you're not a UGA fan, if you're an Auburn fan or some other fan, forget about what you think or how much you hate Uncle Lou or hate UGA or whatever. Ask yourself this question. Is Auburn a national title team in 2017? If the answer is no, then they're not beating UGA. It's that simple. All right, and number 3, I hate to do this, number 3 on the list here. Every so often I have to do this, and this is one of those times. Georgia Bulldogs fans. Now, I'm sure you other fan bases are like this too, but this argument goes around from time to time about paying players, right? And you have some fans come out and say, oh, but players should be paid. You have other people come out and say, nope, they're college students, they shouldn't be paid. You have other people come out and say, well, they are being paid. It's called tuition and room and board and, meals and travel allowances and stipends they get now, cash stipends they get. Well, let me ask you a rhetorical question, if I may. Here's my problem. And yes, I'm fixing to talk about Rodrigo Blankenship. The man deserves a scholarship. That's number 1, period. That's been settled as far as I'm concerned. Here's my problem, though. You got people that for months have been saying, Rodrigo does not deserve a scholarship. He's not good enough. Doesn't deserve one. Then they turn right around with the pay-for-play argument and say, yeah, players deserve to get paid, but they are getting paid. They're on scholarship. That's their pay. Well, let me ask you, explain that to me. I don't get it. How can you hold both those viewpoints at the same time? How can you tell me players, players should get paid, but they already get paid. They get a tuition. They get a free college education. They get room and board. They get travel expenses. They get an allowance. They get a stipend. They already get paid. And then turn right around and say, but Hot Rod don't deserve a scholarship. So what you're telling me is, they deserve to get paid, except for your starting field goal kicker. You sound like an idiot. Be consistent. If you're going to say Hot Rod, Hot Rod plays for the Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah, Hot Rod's a starter. Yeah, Hot Rod was the leading scorer. Yeah, Hot Rod kicked field goals, extra points, and kickoffs. Yeah, Hot Rod played more than half the people on the team. You got 40 people on the team that'll never see the field, all on full scully. Yeah, we know that. But he does not deserve a scholarship. But players should get paid, and they are getting paid through a scholarship. How is that possible? How can your feeble mind hold both those viewpoints at the same time? It boggles the mind is what it does. So, those are the 3 nominees for this week's Face Palm Award. Idiot Soup from Uncle Lou. Have a great day and even better morning if you can. And, go Dogs, too. Beep, ba-doop, boop,